All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews. We're back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1. Taking a little break, but we're back in full force with episode 20 of Season 1. It is called Nothing Personal. So full spoilers if you've not seen this episode. So really great episode here. Just like the last half of this, I mean, looking back at it, I've said that this is really good, but it's really good. And you know, I'm glad that I'm seeing Skye in a different light in this season, rewatching this, because I remember just being really annoyed with her the first time around, but I'm digging her much more the second time around. And just a lot of the things that bugged me the first time around are not bothering me as much here. And in this we get Cobie Smulders' return as Maria Hill. She gets a lot more to do here. She does act a lot more like the Maria Hill that I recognize from the comics. And just so much freaking like spy shit in this episode. It's crazy. So Maria Hill is being tracked. We even get a mention of Man-Thing in here. She says that on the phone. We get a lot of little references here and there, you know, between Romanoff and Stark. But the Man-Thing one I thought was a really nice touch. I also like, so she has all these people tailing her and then they all just kind of fall down, right? They all pass out. So did May like knock all those people out? And how did she do it? Like, I don't know. I like that it's clear that she did it, but you don't know how. And the mystery of May continues. I just love that. But in this, we're trying to get, you know, secrets resolved here. And May is trying to find out what's going on with the Tahiti project. Who was the person that, ordered Fury to do what he did, because they're all worried that it's Pierce and that Coulson could have Hydra orders coming through and they wouldn't even know it. So we get that little bit there, and the end conclusion of that is really great. But this is where the rest of our group, Coulson, Tripp, Fitz, and Simmons are back at Providence, trying to figure out what the hell happened. All they know is that the cameras went, May left, and Skye and Ward took off hand in hand. And just that way that they all find out. They're all doing their own little things. Gemma's looking for ingredients for pancakes. Fitz goes to find out how to turn on or where the oven is and to turn it on. And Tripp and Coulson are working on the computers. I think they're trying to get security up or something like that. And just how they're all doing their own thing, and one by one they figure out that Ward is Hydra. Or at least they suspect that Ward is Hydra. First, Gemma finds the body of Patton Oswalt's character, Koenig, and then Fitz finds the sign that was scratched with a screwdriver that says Ward is Hydra. Now, I don't quite know when Koenig did that, and if he did, how did he do it without warning? How did Ward let that happen? I don't know. It's really weird because he was strangled, right? And so how did he write that in there? And if you're gonna answer that question in the comment section, please don't be sarcastic, because I'm really asking. I've had a couple of people that are like, duh. And it's like, no, I'm really serious. Like, if he's he was in the room with Ward. Ward closes the door. When did he have time to scrawl out the words while he's being choked out, Ward is Hydra? And if he did while Ward was choking him out, why wouldn't Ward just like break the window? Because he couldn't do it from wherever Ward put him. So I don't know. It's just a weird thing. But then they all see what happens, and they find out that the only person physically that could have done what was done to Koenig had to be done from Ward. He was the only one there that was 6'2". So, yeah. And I love Fitz's reaction. I love everybody's reactions in this. whether positive or bad. Everybody's playing how far they can push it in this episode with each other. It's pretty nuts, and a lot of great scenes for everybody to have a moment to shine. We got Skye with Ward, who I feel like it's a writing choice. That again, as soon as we know that Ward is Hydra, they have him acting a certain way that just doesn't seem like it's almost perfect. It's almost like he's still acting. It's almost like he's, still just Ward. But there's also just this kind of like, I don't know. Maybe this is the real Ward and I'm just not used to it, but he's kind of a bitch. I still like the actor. I just, sometimes his tone early on, like when they always write when somebody's trying to hide that they know something, like the bad person's trying to, stay hidden and the other person's trying to pretend like they don't know. And they always write those scenes like each person is trying to see if the other person knows what they know by their stupid, and it's like, but nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like that, like, hey, it's, I don't know. But that's just me. Again, small things. But it just, I'm going to call them out when I see them. So if you can't handle a little criticism, like I found out again from other commenters, you can't make a bad comment or somebody will jump down your throat about this show, which is, I like that there's a strong fan base. You just got to be able to take the good with the bad. But in this, we get some really great stuff for Skye. I mean, she really is playing him good. And it's sad, though, like the Mike Peterson parts where the guy can't do nothing about it. But he's gotten really good at obeying those orders. I'm pretty sure that what's coming is them trying to figure out how to break the control that Garrett has over Mike, but I hope that's what happens. I'm really forgetting many, many things at this point of the first time I watched it. So it's almost like watching it fresh, and I've really been digging it. Them getting, Talbot coming with Maria Hill to take Providence is a really great scene. Because it's confrontational, like everybody's pissed. Talbot's pissed at Shield, Maria Hill's pissed at Coulson, Coulson's pissed at Maria. Everybody's just trying to like fumble around to try to get things back in order as best they can. And with Coulson trying to basically go, on his own, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that for everybody else. But honestly, that's the way that this show's going to carry on pretty much for a good chunk of the next couple of seasons. But then when she finds out that Ward was Hydra, I just love that just kind of flips the switch. That she vetted Ward and he fooled her, and this can't stand. And so, they switch it up and they turn the tables on Talbot, who is played by Adrian Pazdar. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. The guy, I can't believe I couldn't remember that guy's name. He's really good. Again, I said this before. He's going to have a major recurring character role throughout the rest of the series so far, up to the end of season 5. And I really dig, because he's also the voice of Iron Man / Tony Stark in the Avengers cartoon that was on not too long ago. So it's cool seeing him here being used as an actor instead of just a voice actor. When it comes down to Skye and Ward's little sit down at the diner, and that's another thing. The way he's acting is not like somebody who is used to this. He's just way too fidgety. If you like the choices that they made there, that's fine. I just find that his character, if he's so good at being undercover, why is he panicking with a couple of cops in there? I don't know, but it's all for tension's sake. And when Skye turns the tables on him here, it's fantastic. It's beautiful because, you want Ward to suffer. You want Ward to pay. But sometimes that's just not the most fitting punishment at the time, or it's not the most cool thing that can happen. I remember when everybody wanted Joffrey dead on Game of Thrones, and, I'm on the bandwagon for this too. I wanted to see Joffrey get eaten up, ripped apart by dogs or something. But what happens to him in reality, what really happens to Joffrey, to me, was more fitting. And in this, it's the same way. Like, she could have done something violent, she could have done something whatever, but instead she just stalls for time, puts the word out, and then gets to tell him exactly what she thinks of him. And this also, we get to see Ward's obsession with Skye, which, you know, he says is like the only true thing that was going on is his feelings for her, which really says how fucked up he really is. And it's kind of weird that somebody that messed up can hide how messed up they are. But then when they're showing you who they really are and they can't hide how messed up they are, you can't unsee the messed up person that they are. You can no longer see the version that they wanted you to see. Do you know what I'm saying? There's no hiding that anymore. And his obsession does get annoying to me after a while. Not in this episode, but just over the course of the series a little bit. Just a little bit. But then he ends up catching up with her because Mike Peterson catches her, or as you want to put it, Deathlock. Who I feel like, I can't get enough of J. August Richards. Again, they need to bring this guy back. I want more of him. I want more of him in general. He should be a bigger star than he is. No offense to him if he ever sees this or anything. I doubt it, but you know. But there's more tension on the plane. You know, they want her to tell them how to break into the thing. And Deathlock stops Ward's heart. And again, you know, they just do that morality question of he's a killer, but you're not. Are you going to watch him die? And it's like, damn it, this is where you show you have balls, okay? I know that people aren't going to agree with this, but I just wanted to see her actually let him die. I know that it changes the show, but I just feel like I would have just liked to have seen them do that. I know that they got to drag out the storylines and they got to potential things for later on, and they want this bad guy to last, but just, you know, I don't know. I put myself in her shoes, and I may not be a killer, but I could watch Ward die. I wouldn't have any problem doing it because it would prove to them that, you know, you're really willing to go, you know, full nine. And then you'd have taken out Ward too, but if, you know, wish in one hand, crap in the other, you know. But at least when Hill and Tripp get Ward on the tarmac and get him talking, you know, because that's one thing that Ward does, and I like that they can exploit that, is you get Ward talking, that's how you screw him up, is you get him, you know, mess with his head, which allows Coulson to get on the bus and get Skye out. Except he doesn't know Deathlock's there, and so that's where we get to Lola, where they drop out of the back of the plane and have this great sequence of them falling. And even though, yeah, it's green screen, even though, yeah, it's kind of fakey, it's still really, really cool. It's still really, really, I mean, for a TV budget, and think about the budget that they gave this first season. You know, it's a shame now, looking back on it, that more people weren't watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and this didn't become a huge show, like, right away. It wasn't always on the bubble for cancellation, because the budget that they gave them in season 1 started going down, and the quality may be still, you know, somewhat TV in the first season. It was really impressive looking, really impressive looking, and that doesn't change here. That shot right there, I mean, that really looks like a fucking car getting dropped out. And so, yeah, I mean, that would have changed if the show would have been a bigger success right away. I don't think we would have seen, I think we would have seen some really cool stuff as far as what they were capable of doing. Not to say that they haven't done some amazing things like Ghost Rider and stuff like that, but it's just a little note there for, you know, whatever. But Skye and Coulson get away. The car lands. They're in a hotel now. I do find it kind of fitting that Fitz and Simmons are poolside, considering where they're about to be, near water. They're near water now. They're about to be in a lot of hot water, literally, coming up pretty soon. And I like that this is just a quiet moment where they just kind of get to stop and take stock and figure out what they're really going to do, which leads to the end. Where Coulson finds out that May's come back and she's found out who gave Fury the orders or, the message about Tahiti and who was in charge of it at the time. And it turns out that it's Coulson. And Clark Gregg does great here as both the voice on the tape and his reaction to listening to himself say something that was already talking, but was never meant to see, he was never meant to see. And that's that the whole Project Tahiti thing was supposed to be, how you save a fallen Avenger's life. And how that this is not supposed to see the light of day and all the side effects and everybody going crazy, it's psychosis, all that stuff. And coming out of his own mouth, I just love that. And then just the, they always give him the best one-liners, and the best ones are the deadpan ones. The ones that just do all like that. And Clark Gregg is just aces at that. And so that's pretty much it for this episode. It's really, really good. We've got 2 episodes left of this season, and then we'll be at season 2. So if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. We are going to be doing something special after I come back for C2, E2, when I get after I've gotten my autographs from Clark Gregg and Ming-Na Wen. Hopefully that next time I will have at least something that I can say about maybe from one of them, get a kind of a quote or something about the show. I plan on asking, like I said before, Clark Gregg about Bill Paxton in season 1 and what it was like to work with him. And I've got to come up with a Ming-Na Wen question as well. So I'll be reporting back on those. Hopefully I get something. If not, oh well. And like I said, I am working on something coming, hopefully with somebody else that's also a YouTuber that does Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And once we get that figured out and nailed down and how we're going to do that, we will be doing a kind of a recap of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if we're doing it a season at a time or if we're just going to kind of talk about the series as a whole and the things that we like or didn't like and how what we think of the show in general, how it is at the beginning, where it's at the end of season 5, and where we think it's going. I think that's kind of what we're about to do. So anyway, I think this is the longest one I've done for S.H.I.E.L.D. That's it. We will be back with episode 21, the penultimate episode of season 1, in just a little bit. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Gun Review saying have a great night, and we will see you next time.